Hey guys, welcome to Friendship Shaving. This is the Christmas shave, and it's Christmas Eve where I am now, and whenever I put this out I hope you'll have had a very Merry Christmas. And I know some people struggle over the Christmas period, and if that affects you, I hope you get through it as best you can and take good care of yourself through into the new year. Now, I'll put another video out in the new year after the new year, so there'll be a bit of a longer break than usual, but not too much. So as you head towards the new year, I hope you head towards a prosperous and a happy new year. Now, I thought I'd share with you a little bit of my story today and make this a more personal shave. But before I get into that, let me show you what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my rubber set, number 3, and I'll just pop that in some water. And I'm going to be using my 1921 to 1928 Gillette single ring. This one has been replated in chromium, and I find this to be an excellent razor. I'm going to be using it with a Gillette silver blue blade, which I've already got loaded in there. I've used the silver blues before, and in another razor I didn't really like them, but I find in this razor they are absolutely tip top. They are great. I've had the warm flannel on my face today. It's something I used to do, and I haven't done it for a little while, and it's very relaxing, isn't it, if you do this? So I'm going to be using a little bit of the Hasslinger coconut today. Got a nice little bit there. I'll just drop that in the sink for a moment. I'm going to lather in my hand, or rather I'm going to load the brush in my hand. The soap is a little bit slippy. It's got a lovely smell, this soap, of, surprisingly, coconut. I've used it a couple of times now, and I find it goes very well with just about any aftershave that I've got. It's a very nice quality creamy soap, this Hasslinger. I like it. I know I used it in the last shave. I used the sensitive one then. So there we are, that will do. That is my brush loaded. And I thought I would share with you today how I got into shaving with a DE safety razor, and from there on progressed to making these videos. Some of you may know already, but I'll just wipe my brush handle. There we are. Some of you may know already, but in 2011, on March the 5th, I became desperately ill with pneumococcal meningitis, and I was very lucky indeed. I was carried from the house unconscious with about 10 minutes to live, and I spent quite a long time in the intensive care unit at the hospital, and for a lot of that time I was unconscious. So when I came round and eventually was sent home, I was left with a brain injury and a lot of physical symptoms which still affect me to this day. I have to manage my activities very, very carefully. I'm still mostly housebound. I can manage to potter out into the garden, and on a good day I can potter along to the end of the road and back. And we've got a great view out the front, so that's very enjoyable. But it's changed my life entirely, guys. And when I first came out of the hospital, I had to be completely looked after by my mum, and I still live with my mum now. At that time, I started to think how I might change my life for the better, because, to be honest, it was pretty dire. And for some reason, and I don't really know how I came to do this, but I decided to change the way I shaved, and it's been an absolute revelation. My first razor, my first what I call a proper razor, my first DE razor, I think it was a Parker 90R twist to open razor. The blade didn't sit in it squarely, it was misaligned. But you know what, it kept me going for a good while, and got me started on this wonderful journey. I think I had an old Body Shop brush in the bathroom cupboard. I don't even know where it came. Well, it came from the Body Shop, but I don't know how I got it. And I started to use that with just my can of shaving foam. And I think the first proper shaving cream that I used that was made for a brush was the Macaroot shaving cream from the Body Shop. And I used that for a long time. My sister used to get it for me when she was in the town, and it was an excellent product. And of course back then it used to take me a long time to shave. I needed help to get to the bathroom. I'd have to sit at the bathroom sink and it'd take me easily 45 minutes to have a shave. But by changing the way I shaved and always had the hot towel on my face, that was why I did it today. I forgot I used to do that, it was very enjoyable. I made it 45 minutes out of my day that was just totally comfort and enjoyment. And it was really wonderful, and I've become a big believer that when you want to change your life, it's often the little things that are important. Sometimes you're not able to change the big things in your life, and I certainly wasn't. But I do believe that if you can change the little things for the better, they add up, and your life does improve bit by bit. And it's helped me to become grateful for the little things. So if it's a nice day, I'm really grateful for that. I'm grateful for the small things. Now, once I realised that my Parker twist to open really wasn't up to the job, the razor that I got after that was the one that I'm using today. I was very lucky to get this. I got it for a very reasonable price, and I was expecting it to be a little aggressive. I'd already watched a couple of shaving videos, before then I had no idea that shaving videos were a thing. It was quite an eye-opener for me. But it turned out that this razor is a fantastic razor, and because it was the only one I used for a very long time, it meant that I became really accustomed to using it. And you know, since then I've always had a really, really nice shave with this razor. I think it's a wonderful razor. Tremendous. It remains one of my favourites. Really, really nice razor. And you know, I shaved for quite a while before I thought of making a video. I've been putting the videos out now for just a little bit over a year. And I first made a video because I was ill and I was extremely isolated in my life, and I really wanted to put myself out there a little bit. When I said to my mother that I was making a shaving video, she looked at me like I'd grown two heads. I remember her saying, "Who's going to watch you shaving? What are they going to do that for?" And I must admit, I did wonder that myself. But you guys haven't let me down, thank you. In terms of my own experience, putting out the videos has really helped me. I know that in my first videos I really struggled. I struggled to shave and talk to the camera and remember the information that I wanted to give you. I know there were long pauses when I looked at my notes, and I know sometimes I sounded quite droll, especially when I was having a bad day. But if I compare those first videos to my more recent videos, I think that I've come a long way forward. So this is my chance to say thank you to you guys. I really enjoy making these videos. I really enjoy your comments and answering those comments. And actually I've met, through doing these videos, you know, in inverted commas, I've met some really, really kind, nice people, and it's made the whole experience very, very worthwhile for me. So thank you guys, you know, properly, thank you, because what you maybe didn't realise is that you were really helping me along. You know, I truly believe that. and hopefully next year we'll continue going forward together, and I'll continue to improve along the way. And you might, you might be watching this and it might be very interesting, but if you're watching this and you've had experience of, catastrophic illness, you'll really understand how contact with the outside world is so important. It's a lifesaver, honestly. So for me, putting these videos out was the best thing I could have done. And that's basically my story, guys. That's how I got into taking my time, shaving with a DE razor, enjoying the shave. That became very important to me, because like many people out there, I used to just squirt on the Gillette gel, rub it around my face, fly through my shave with a cartridge razor. I was done in minutes, or that's the way it seemed anyway. I think us fellows that shave with a DE razor and take our time, not necessarily us fellows that shave with a DE razor, but us fellows that take our time to really enjoy the shave, I think we're onto something. Ooh. Now that's the only thing I don't like about these old Gillettes, is that the edge of the blade just sticks out there. Just call my nose on that. I never understood why they didn't make the top cap just slightly bigger or curved at the edges. This is a nice blade, this Gillette Silver Blue. They come double wrapped, I like that. No glue on the packet, just double wrapped. In the new year, I've got my eye on a few things that I'd really like to try. I might have mentioned before, but I'd really like to try the Moolah Rocker stainless steel razor. It's quite expensive, so I'll have to save up a little bit. But I really fancy the one that's got the bark handle. If you go online and have a look, you'll find that one. I think it's beautiful. So yes, I'd really like to try that one sometime in the new year. And one of the things that I've recently seen, thanks to the Friendship Shaving Facebook group, is the Ming Shi shaver. Actually it's not, it's the Q Shave razor. I know they are identical to look at. But they do a matte black one, and it is gorgeous, and that is for sale on Amazon for about £20. You get the razor, a stand, some razor blades, I think a case for the razor. I think it's £21. So although it's cheap, I'm nevertheless hoping that there'll be a little bit of a sale on that in the new year, because I really fancy it. I really like the look of that one. And then I can pass on my Mingxi shaver, which was a gift and I loved using it, but that black one is a stunner. It's on my list, fellas. So I'm going to use a little bit of alum. I don't necessarily feel that I need it, but I know I've had a very close shave under here. And I don't know about you guys, but when I started DE shaving, I used alum all the time and it killed me. I used to get myself really too close. And now when I rub it on, I just get, you know, there's a little spot there. For some reason there's a little spot there that's tingling. I know it helps with the skin, but it's kind of a good guide to how well you've done with your shave in some ways. It's quite amazing, isn't it, how we all come along. We all have the same problems when we start with a double-edged safety razor. And we all come along and learn how to get great shaves, hopefully. Now today I'm going to use the same aftershave that I used in the last video. I'm going to use the Sensitive Cooling Post-Shave Balm from Nivea. This is a new one for me. I've also got one called the Cool Kick aftershave. I believe that's got alcohol in it and mint, but this one is alcohol free, and yeah, I must say I really like it. As you know, I think Nivea products are just tremendous. Oh, it's beautiful, honestly. It's really nice. And that, fellows, is the Christmas shave for 2017. Whatever you're doing this year, I hope you've had a really nice time, a very Merry Christmas to you, and I hope you have a very Happy New Year. As I say, I will put the next video out on the first Friday after the New Year, so I'll have just a couple of days extra, and hopefully I'll have got some shaving soap from my sister for Christmas. Last year I got the OSP barbershop soap, which was wonderful, but this year I'm rather hoping she's brought me some Wickham's Club Cola, so fingers crossed, we will have to see. I hope you didn't mind me telling you my story. It maybe explains a few things to you, and I guess if there's a I don't know, a moral to the story, not a moral, but you know, when you watch these videos, you never really know what goes on in people's lives, and I think that's true of everyone. So on that note, and being as it is Christmas, be kind to each other, be kind to yourselves, and all the very best, and I'll see you in 2018. Take care now, bye bye.